Hey there, YouTubers. Luke on the road here. Some of you may or may not have noticed that I have not posted a video about my moto camping trip yet. The one that I was supposed to take a couple weeks ago. And that is for a number of reasons, including work, weather, and now that the weather is nice, my bike won't start. So it's doing this little clicking sound when I start it, and I'll let you take a listen to it so you know what I'm talking about. Now, I called my mechanic, described to him what was going on, and he said, for sure, it's the battery. And I was like, great, no problem. I can change a battery, piece of cake. Let's do it. So I got my battery, and I noticed that there were no directions in it, no instructions. It's not a big deal for me, but I was thinking, what if I was a new person on a bike, never done this before, and was thinking it was going to be like changing an automobile battery, which it's not. I would have no directions, so I would probably go on YouTube and try and find something. So I'm going to post this video for anyone who may need a little assistance in preparing the battery for installation, because there's some differences between motorcycle battery and a car battery. Specifically the preparation of you get fluids with it that you have to add to the battery, and if you don't have the directions for it, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be dangerous and you can do it incorrectly. So I'm going to walk you through it and hope that it helps someone out there who hasn't done this before. So watch, pay attention, and I hope that this helps you out. Now, one of the things you'll notice about this new battery is that it doesn't just come with a battery itself like it would for an automobile. It comes with two items, the battery, and then it comes with some more fluids that you need to add to the battery, containing battery acid and sulfuric acid. So clearly this stuff is really dangerous, really toxic, and you don't want to have it. You want to be protected when you do this part of it. You're going to need some gloves, a mask, and some eye protection as well. And you don't want to do it in an enclosed area. You want to make sure it's ventilated really well. So I'm going to go take this down to my parking structure and do it down there. Okay, so obviously the first step is you're going to want to take the wrapper off of the fluids, which they call electrolytes, but it's the battery acid and sulfuric acid. Then you've got this strip here that's covering the holes that those nozzles from those connected bottles are going to go into. Once you take that off, you're going to see some nozzles and they're going to have a sharp edge on it. And then when you take the caps off of the containers, they're going to have a little metal foil covering them, and you're going to use the nozzles, the sharp nozzles, to puncture those metal covers there that you can see. You're just going to want to push it straight down, okay? You're not going to want to push one end first and then the other, and don't bend it at all. Just go straight down. Once you've done that, you'll see that the bubbles are coming up. Just let gravity do the work. You don't want to move it around a lot. You don't want to mess with it. You just want to let it slowly trickle down into the battery. And then once those fluids combine, that's what's going to actually activate the battery itself. You can see they're going down. Not all of them are going at the same speed, and some of them actually will stop. And what you want to do, you don't want to mess around with these things too much, but if that does happen, like it has on a few of the ones that I'm working on right here, you're simply going to, there we go, you just want to ever so gently give a little squeeze on the column that doesn't have any bubbles coming up, and then wait till you see the bubbles coming up, and then stop and let gravity do the rest. If it stops again, give it a slight, gentle squeeze, and then you should be safe doing that. But don't squeeze it hard, don't mess around with it too much. Once you see the bubbles coming up, it will eventually drain, As you can see, that's the very end of the last one right there. And I'm just making sure that the very last of it all is gone. You don't want any left in there, because when you pull it out, you don't want the acid to be falling on the battery or anything else. So then when you take it off, you just pull it straight up, tip it over as soon as you can so you don't spill anything, and then those same caps that were covering the bottle, you're now going to put onto the top of the nozzles. And then you're never going to remove that again. That's going to stay on there for the remainder of this battery's life. Now you're just going to take some paper towel, wipe off any excess fluid that may have dripped onto the battery. Keep those gloves on throughout this whole process. Set that aside. Now you're going to want to let this sit for anywhere from a half hour to 30 minutes, and it will tell you, well, it would have told you on the instructions, which were not included in this set, but I do know to let it sit for 30 minutes, so that's what I'm going to do. Once you've done that, you want to put those fluids back into the box that it came in, and then take your old battery, put the fluids back in the battery box that you just bought, take the old battery, put it in the box for the new one, and then return that to the facility at which you purchased the battery at, and you will get a refund. For me, it was $12 at Walmart they withheld as a deposit until you return this. And I don't like to take them both. I don't like to take the old battery there with when I exchange it for the new one, because I want to return those containers that had the battery acid and the sulfuric acid to the company as well, so they can dispose of that properly also. Then go ahead and drop the battery back in. Reconnect the positive. Reconnect the negative. And my Kawasaki Vulcan had a bracket with 3 hex bolts that secured the battery to the frame. I'm sure most bikes have something similar. Once you've got everything down and secure, give it a test shot. And that doesn't sound too great. Well, as you may or may not have been able to tell, although the battery did start, the problem that I had was not resolved. So I took the motorcycle into the shop. It turns out that my petcock was leaking, and for those of you who don't know, the petcock is the valve. It usually says on, off, reserve, or prime, that releases fuel from the tank into the carburetor, and that was leaking into the carb down to the engine, and it was doing what's called a hydro lock, which was not allowing the engine to ignite. And so I've got to get a new petcock, and hopefully that will be the end of this issue. That seems to be an ongoing flooding problem with me, but hopefully this video helped you out more than it did me, and you were able to get that battery changed without any problems, and that fixed whatever issues you were having, and hopefully you were just having a dead battery issue. But I'm still planning on taking that moto trip once I get my bike fixed, but now I've just got to wait for that petcock to be shipped, replaced, and then hopefully I'll be able to hit the road after that. But hey, if this video was helpful for you, give me a like. If you want to see more maintenance, hopefully some traveling, then go ahead and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later.